And welcome everyone to a March Madness Senior Showcase. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by Payton Pritchard and Dana Altman from Oregon. And before we get to a couple of great highlights from Payton's career at Oregon, Dana, I want to start with you. Payton's career at Oregon, what did it mean to you to coach Payton Pritchard?
He's meant a great deal to our program, and to me individually, it's just great to work with him for 4 years. Big part of our program, freshman year, Final Four. Last year, Sweet 16 that he, really led us to. And then this past season, a Pac-12 championship. So a lot of great memories, a lot of hours in the gym, a lot of hours practicing, the ups and downs of practice and a season. When you go through them, you build a relationship, and nothing goes straight to the top. There's a lot of ups and downs, and fortunately Payton was healthy his whole career and, played every game, and, was a big, big part of our program.
Yeah, Payton, for you, what will you remember most about playing at the University of Oregon?
Well, obviously, first the big wins and going to the tournament, and obviously those stick out in my mind, but really just the daily grind, like Coach talked about, all the ups and downs, and, every day in practice, and, there's different emotions, you got different things going on, but once you step on that floor every day on practice, you're there for one thing, and just to get better and work your tail off. And that's what I remember the most, just the grind, really. But definitely the wins and the grind.
All right, so we have 3 highlights here that we want to show you that I think show basically the diversity of your game, Payton. And we're going to go back to that run to the Sweet 16. Let's start in the opening round of the NCAA tournament against Wisconsin. And I think this is a play that just shows your ability to control the situation. So let's roll first this play against Wisconsin.
And that's what makes their win of the Pac-12 tournament so improbable.
Pritchard, masterful.
This is nice. Get low, splits the double team, goes in, uses the left hand. But what a game he's having. 8 points. He has 3 rebounds.
Payton, I want you to take me through the play here. What are you trying to do here on this play?
Well, it's late shot clock. When it gets down to late shot clock, we'll run it's called a Florida screen. It's like a top of ball screen, on top of the key, flat screen. And at this moment, I'm just trying to make a play for one of my teammates or get to one of my pull up or get to the rim like I did here. And I just seen a gap, and obviously with under 10 seconds, you gotta make something happen. So I just hit the gap.
Dana, this is a great example where Payton commanded so much attention. In what way was Payton able to do that, where he basically changed the way defense had to react to him?
Well, it was a great situation there. We had 3 really good shooters on the floor with Payton. Our shooters are set up, so if the defense does collapse on Payton, he's able to hit one of the 3-point shooters. If they double Payton, then we got Kenny going to the basket. And so, it gives Payton a lot of options, and just a good play that Payton really did a great job for us, especially the last 2 years, where we have better shooters spreading the floor.
All right, so Dana, that's an example of Payton taking advantage of the situation, using his skill to get to the hole. In this next game, the next round in this tournament against UC Irvine, I thought was a great example of Payton using his vision and involving everyone else. So Dana, take me through this play here of what Payton is trying to accomplish against UC Irvine in the next round.
Well, again, we've got the shot clock running down, and you can see we've got pretty good spacing. We're a little crowded on the backside, but 5 seconds, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Payton drives it hard at the basket to try to make a play, and he throws it up to Kenny. The defense came, the big post man, slid over. And if he doesn't, Payton's going to have a layup, and the postman slid over. So Payton made the right decision and threw it up to Kenny.
So it's great also for this, I think, for a lot of players to watch that are coming up. No words were spoken. there's definitely a connection with you and Kenny on that play. How do you explain that for those that are wondering, you know, how did he know that he's going to throw it up? He's right there to come along the baseline and dunk it without that verbal communication.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think as a point guard, for me, what gives me confidence is to see my big guy ready. You can tell his knees are bent. He's almost gearing up to jump. Sometimes you see bigs who stand straight up and are kind of not in an athletic position. And as a point guard, you know, that can be a tough play because, you know, it's like trusting somebody that isn't ready. But Kenny, one thing with him, he was always ready to jump. And I knew he could jump over anybody. So I was willing to make that play for him. And he saved my butt a bunch of times going to get it.
All right. So you had a number of great games your senior season. We go back to the game at Michigan, Seton Hall, and the battle for Atlantis, both Arizona games. But we picked this one at Washington, where you never lost in your 4 years in Seattle, which I know you're proud of that stat. All right, so let's get the end of the game. End of the game at Washington, tied up in overtime. Payton, take it away for me.
You know, honestly, this is kind of like a broken play. Washington played pretty good defense, so at the end of the play, I just tried to get a shot up and just went to a little step back. And, you know, at that point, you just got to get a shot up and let it fly, and that's kind of all that happened. And was confident enough, and I hit it, so worked in our favor.
You are being contested, and that's a shot that obviously you had even more confidence in as a senior. Let me go back even to the Final Four run as a freshman. How confident would you have been to take and ultimately make a shot like that with that kind of difficulty falling back as a freshman?
You know, like if it was in my hands to take it, I would have took it. But you know, I think the biggest thing on each team is you gotta know your role, and you gotta earn that. And my freshman year, that would have been definitely Dylan Brooks taking that shot, and you know, like he did his junior year, he hit a lot. Then I worked up to that point to be able to take it, but always would have been ready to take a shot like that. But you know, it's all the work in the gym and just staying ready for moments like that.
All right, Dana, you've got a great view from your side of the bench up there in Seattle. What are you seeing here with 11 seconds left in overtime?
Well, Peyton's right. We threw it into Chandler. Chandler had made a lot of good plays in this game, and we threw it to the middle of the floor for him to make a play. He didn't have one, and then Peyton just makes a really tough shot. That's where you go, oh, Peyton, where you taking that shot for, and it goes in, and you start clapping. But that was, you know, just a big-time play. And Peyton's right. You know, as a freshman, you know, Dylan Brooks had built up to that. And when Dylan was a freshman, we had Joe Young making those plays. And Tyler Dorsey stepped in and made some plays when Peyton was a freshman. So, you know, those guys had worked their tail off for 2-3 years and had earned that right. And Peyton, you know, if Peyton hits that shot, great. If he misses, there wasn't one teammate, you know, that would have said anything because, you know, he had earned that. He had worked really hard. And it's a big time shot. And he made a bunch of them for us this year. And, you know, he carried on a tradition. You know, you like guys who've been in the program, and Peyton earned the right to take those shots. And, you know, hit or miss, you know, as a coach, you live with that.
All right. So, Peyton, while I have you, I just rattled off a bunch of, you know, my favorites from your season, this past season. That's one of them. Where does that rank for you? The shot to beat Washington.
Oh, that's tough. You know, I almost have to say that's tied for first.
With?
At Arizona, when we went to overtime with them. They were first place in our league, and we had to win that game. So that was a big one too. So those two are tied for first.
Well, Peyton, you provided a ton of great moments for Oregon, for the Pac-12, for those of us watching college basketball at March Madness. We appreciate it. Wish you only the best, and both you and Dana, stay safe. Hopefully we'll be talking soon. But Peyton, thanks again. Obviously some great moments in college basketball.
Thank you for having me, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.